10% is quite a lot, it's 10 crore. So what you have to do is there are a lot of opportunities existing in the old age. In the old age means care of old people, commercial opportunities in serving old people, geriatric homes, property, because the population has a lot of property now. There are many property disputes. There are issues relating to property. There are issues relating to tenants. West Bengal, incidentally, is a very fertile place, and land is very precious. So you should, incorporate land as a specific subject. There is a lot of scope in land. Madam was incidentally for some point of time. Now, I also have another division called the language division, which researches into the 22 scheduled and 99 non-scheduled languages of India. There are very, but mother tongue is very important. Mother tongue to you is very important. Mother tongue to everyone is very important. Now, Hindi has become the Rajbhasha. Article 351. You see, Hindi has been promoted as the Rajbhasha. We have had Hindi pakwaras last week only, or this week only. So, promoting your language as a means of sustenance, promoting your language as a communicative tool, as an effective communicating tool is also very important. Now, in legal journals, in legal aspects, you won't find many Bengali writers who have written. But Bengali is simpler. Bengali is a sweet language. Bengali can come to you easier than any other language. Now, one of the reasons to shy away from law is your mother tongue. Maybe you're not comfortable in English. Terms like sapinda or taught are very innocuous. When I first heard taught, I had no idea. So of what it was. Sapinda, I mean these are all new terms. Then there was this guy called Bentham, there was this guy called Salmon, and they spoke all rubbish, which was everybody is speaking on one particular topic, and everybody is trying to be different. So it was so confusing. But if you can understand everything in Bengali, I think that would be of good help. So I mean you can extrapolate law further also. It goes past before Christ also. Some Greek philosopher, Plato, Socrates, all these guys, they also told something. Then came the Romans. Then there were so many people during the during the 1700s, 1800s. These people all lived during that time. So they had a lot to say on the same subject, but very differently. And you had to understand comma, full stop, everything in order to get the exact essence of what was said or what is said. So being confusing is something, but I mean that is where the mother tongue importance is important. If you can just understand things in your language, it would be better. Now, but again, converting translation to mother tongue is another opportunity, so that requires another degree of difficulty. Now, I have come here with suggestions from some alumni who have been, very grateful for their support also during their times. Also, they had a lot of events happening, and they are fully appreciative of the KPLI. So when I represent the alumni, I represent the full alumni, the full strength of alumni, the full bench of alumni who have passed out from here. So some of the suggestions, if I can, just reiterate from them, especially for our honorable principal and member secretary, sir, is that one is that the institute should be self-financing. There should be, some forms of self-financing which the institute can rope in revenues. Definitely, the institute has ideas, but what they have said is, what we discussed is that you can have LLM courses, which can be correspondence courses, which can be online courses. You can generate revenue from that. You can give online certificate courses, maybe from on noting drafting, on recent cyber laws, as ma'am was saying. So there are a lot of opportunities in certificate courses, maybe 1 week, 2 week, or whatever. You will see there are so many blogs, some mind leaders, this, that. They are minting money out of these issues only. So you are an institute with a lot of government force. There is nothing more forceful than the government stamp. So you can do much better. So that is one suggestion. Number two is when I frequented the library, books are good. I find Mr. Somnath Mukherjee has been very helpful to me whenever I went there. But there is no online resource. There is no JSTOR. There is no ProQuest. There is nothing of this sort which you can access from your home also. So there should be some online source, online JSTOR or whatever, or my loft. There should be some online source which can be accessed from outside for the students. If you can help the alumni also, maybe alumni should also be interested in the online resources. A huge repository of information can be obtained from online sources. So now also whenever you want something, you have to do a lot of research, you will go into Wikipedia, and Wikipedia says give me some money and then I can give you the information. And Wikipedia information is not sacrosanct, it is not end to end, it is not true. So there is a lot of infidelity in the information, but the journals are a true source of information. So the online access can be thought of. There is a lot of, since land has become a very precious issue now, especially in our state. So we would definitely recommend that some attachment with the land department, the nearby land departments, or the survey department be conducted for the students. Maybe people from there can come here and teach, or they can be sent there. Now there is another important issue in law institutes which we often neglect, is that internships. Internships are very important because everybody is not going into criminal law. Everybody is not going to high court. You won't get a chance to high court because it's all fed up. It's all filled up with pedigreed lawyers. All lawyers, generation to generation lawyers, they are only carrying the baton. If his father is a lawyer, then he is a lawyer, and the uncle is a lawyer, then he is a lawyer. So people who are the first generation of lawyers, they don't have much teeth. There is no canine teeth for these people to make a dent in all the courts. But corporate law or law as a job can take you to other heights. So sufficient knowledge of these laws, internship in say banks or say institutes where you can model yourself on the law schools also. So that can be helpful. Then again, moot courts. There should be competition between the 3-year LLBs and the 5-year LLBs on moot courts. Moot courts has been a part of this curriculum. Unfortunately, we have also been a part of the COVID period. So moot courts were not that helpful for us because they were not undertaken due to COVID restrictions. Now, saying this, I express my solidarity and thanks to inviting me, and of course my sincere gratitude to the institute who has made me the person I am. And let me tell you that after going back from the institute, I have not stopped learning law, because if you don't learn, if you don't see your law books, you forget. You don't remember who these philosophers were, or what is new. Suppose this BNS, what the BNS is. Now BNS has come, but we are still studying IPC, CRPC and Evidence Act. So when do we study BNS? When is the Bharatiya Nyaya Shastra coming in our syllabus? Nobody knows. So we should shift. All the high courts have shifted, police have shifted, everybody is into the new form. But when you study the old things. So this bridge has to be stopped at some point of time, and we must go ahead with the new laws, or the new versions, the new nomenclature of the laws, because it won't be helping you. Studying IPC and going to the courts won't be helping you. Anyway, so we can look into that. And having said that, I will conclude my story. As a student of this institute, I have been benefited, and I have 180 students, 180 staff officials in my institute whom we frequently interact with, and during those interactions, the institute had taught me to give good PowerPoints, because it was a COVID period, so mostly there were so many online interactions. So those PowerPoints, I mean, the ideas of those PowerPoints are still in my mind. So whenever now the government of India has given a restriction, I mean, a timeline on vigilance awareness. So 3 months vigilance awareness starting from 16th of August to 3 months, which will be ending, next month or sometime later. So all through the 3 months, we have to keep on some everyday activity, whatever activity it is. So during those times, whenever there is a shortage, we have some legal study, and there is a quiz followed, so that people can understand who Saman was or who Bentham was. So we are taking it up that way, but unfortunately, interest in law and interest in other subjects is different, because we are a part of administrative law, we are not a part of civil law or criminal law. So administrative law is very most important to us, and civil laws and criminal laws are a back burner. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaushik Shah sir, for your meaningful suggestions. Sir has rightly emphasized the importance of language in the study of law, and especially your mother tongue when you want to understand a line or a term with which you are not familiar with in any other language. Thank you, sir. To grace today's program, we are honored to have among us as our chief guest, Shri Basudeb Banerjee sir. Formerly, sir was a member of the Indian Administrative Service and had also held the position of the Chief Secretary of the State of West Bengal from 2015 until his retirement in 2017. Post-retirement, he has headed the West Bengal State Information Commission from July 2017 to June 2022. Sir is currently a member of the West Bengal Human Rights Commission. Sir had started his career by working in the State Bank of India for 2 years, and thereafter he joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1983. He worked in different capacities in the state of West Bengal and held prestigious positions as the District Magistrate of Birbhum and South 24 Parganas. He was the head of 8 departments of the government as Secretary, Principal Secretary and Additional Chief Secretary. Sir was also the chairman of the Tea Board of India from 2005 to 2010. He has served with the Election Commission of India from 2003 to 2005, and he was also the Home Secretary and Additional Chief Secretary of West Bengal from 2012 to 2015, and was later on elevated to the post of Chief Secretary in December 2015. Sir has been awarded the Bongo Bibhushan, the high civilian honor of the Government of West Bengal for his contribution to public service in 2022. May I please request Sir to say a few words, sir.
Dr. Arvind Chakravarti, my former colleagues, Srimati Smita Pandey, Sri Kaushik Shah, Sri Dhrubojyoti De, faculty members, and my dear students. I'm very happy, indeed delighted to be here on the occasion of your Foundation Day. It's already been said that I was the Chief Secretary when this institute came up and was part of the decision making process when this institute was set up, and I'm very glad to see that it has definitely progressed beyond what we had conceived, and certainly there's scope for further expansion in every aspect. My colleagues Smita and Kaushik have given very valuable suggestions, I think, to the management of this institute, and I'm sure the future is even more bright. Things will improve. I'm absolutely sure. In this context, I would suggest that since this institute had been set up under the aegis of Calcutta Police, certain aspects of criminal administration, you have an advantage in the sense that one of the first police commissionerate in the country, the Calcutta Police Force, is behind you, and their history of especially criminal law, they have a history of solving difficult crimes. So perhaps you should have centers of excellence in which your natural benefit of being associated with the Calcutta Police could be explored. That is one suggestion I can think of. I understand that we have students in the audience who, including the first years who have just joined, as well as various other courses, the 5-year various semesters, and my address will be mostly directed at them. Now, a law degree, I mean, there are people who, like Smita here, went in for a law degree, I think after 15 or 20 years of being in the IAS, and she has found it very useful, even in her present job. And because law is something in the administration, we are the implementers of laws. We are the other end of laws. The legislature frames laws, and most of the time the administration frames the rules and regulations, the subordinate legislation. But the implementation is entirely done at the field level and at the secretariat level. And for our understanding of law, that is why when the IAS officer or the IPS officer joins in our respective institutes we have a law course there also, and certain laws are taught. Now, a law degree some years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, restricted you only towards a law practice. That was the expectation. You put on a black coat and you went and argued before a court. Today, you have several possibilities in front of you when you pass out. Lawyers, of course, even then you could join the judiciary. But today, with corporate law and with corporate opportunities expanding over the past years, maybe after the 90s and certainly the last 10, 15, 20 years. So there are several opportunities which await you in the corporate world. We also need professors of law, we also need teachers of law. So there is also another huge area of education and research fields. There is also a huge opportunity in the modification of laws. I mean, mention has been rightly made of simplification of laws so that ordinary people can understand the language. Certain countries have already done this, and apart from use of mother tongue, even English has to and needs to be simplified so that ordinary people can understand it. All these areas are wide open for research and help, because even the legislators, even when laws are being framed, a lot of inputs need to be taken from the specialists in the field. There is a need for greater interaction between educational institutions, law institutes, and the lawmakers, the governments, the legislative assemblies, wherever law is a new law or is being made or law is being amended. And I think association of people who are into research in law, that needs a kind of a linkage which is, I think, somewhat missing today. And serving officers is also a great idea. I think all serving officers, when they upgrade their skills, whether it is legal skills or any other skill, is always something which will enhance their capability in their work. Now, I thought when I came here, I'll be especially talking about one aspect of what I would like to tell you. And I'll stick to that. Maybe I'll come back to one or two other things later. I just wanted to talk to you about technology. I think mention has already been made of that. But I think in the future, it's going to be technology, and you hear of AI, you hear of so many things. But since you are studying law, you need to be completely aware of what technological advancements are taking place in the realm of law. Legal software is being developed. You have case management systems. You have, of course, legal databases. Mention has been made of online resources. Then simple things like document management, because law to a great extent deals with documentation, drafting, documentation. So that takes us to standardization of legal documents. You know, all of us have at some time or the other bought or sold property, and you will find drafting of the same kind of thing very different from one lawyer or one law firm and another. So there is a very great need for standardization of legal documents through the country. The other aspect is cyber security, because today most of the resources are happening online. Obviously, protecting client information, protection of secure communication, protection of communication, of privileged communication, all these issues have to come up in the context of technology and technological development. Artificial intelligence has been mentioned. The issue is that all of you need to know this in this day and age, because in your lifetime of practice of law or being associated with law, our time is up. We have seen it in a different way. In the coming 20, 30 years, when we won't be around, it's going to be technology which will be a major aspect of the practice of law and its implementation of law, every aspect of law. So for you, it is important to know, be taught, and also have that eagerness to know what is happening in this field. Now, we all know about delays in the legal system. I believe an estimate was made of total number of cases pending in India, and the number is around 5 crores, I believe, about 5 crore cases, of which the district and subordinate courts, it's about 4.5 crores. The Supreme Court, I believe the latest figures I got from doing a search is 80,000 cases pending in the Supreme Court. And 25 high courts, there are 61.7, almost 62 lakh cases pending in the high courts of this country. So pendency being an issue, can technology solve pendency? Because a large number of cases are very similar to another kind of case. You know, you can compare this with the medical scenario in the country. Most people in the rural areas, or many people in the rural areas, suffer from diseases which are easily curable, but there's no infrastructure or there's no technology for providing that benefit to that person. Today you're talking of technologies such as teleconferencing or using technology for doctors sitting somewhere else, a remote doctor sitting and solving these problems. Similarly, because we know that what is the biggest source of disputes in India? I think everyone knows this, it's land. In fact, 66% of all civil cases in India are related to land and property disputes. You also then get to know that that's one area, like someone has mentioned about land. I fully agree with that. Any lawyer in India needs to understand the land laws of their state. Don't forget that land, of course, is a state subject. So the land laws which relate to the state need to be known. There are, of course, laws such as Land Acquisition Law, Transfer of Property Act, etc., which are central acts. But the point I'm making is, apart from updating yourself on technology, it is extremely important for you to know about land laws and to understand land. Because if you are going to practice, or if you are going to be involved in any way with the legal profession, land will come into your life, even if you don't own land yourself. Even the Supreme Court, I've found this data, even in the Supreme Court, 25% cases relate to land disputes. Lower courts, of course, it's much, much more. Now, you have heard that there have been some attempts, all India, more or less starting from 2011, when you had this e-courts project, which you must have heard of. And we are now in phase 3 of e-courts. Phase 1 and 2 basically related to setting up the hardware and software connectivity and all that e-courts platform. But phase 3, which has started from last year, 2023, talks of far more advanced levels of solutions which are to be provided. And there is a move towards an online and paperless courts. This is extremely difficult, of course, because most, I would say, the legal edifice is somewhat conservative. You're conservative in the way you are dressed, at least the higher judiciary, the way you're dressed. So there's a lot of, I would say, if you call it decolonization, which that really urgently is required. The judges no longer wear the wigs, which they used to at one point.